Big breakfast with Robbie and Adam this morning. That was Duke Dumont with a newie, Ocean Drive. Now, special guest, very excited about this show, Beach Cops, which starts on Sunday. Layne Beachley, thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure, boys.
Beach Cops, set in Manly, which is your part of the world. Tell us about old Manly.
Right. Good old Mantown. It's the most appropriately named beach in the world. And I'm the unofficial queen of Manly. I actually even have a yellow rash vest when they used to have this festival of surfing down at Manly, and I won Queen of Manly. So it was just an automatic pick for me to come on board and narrate Beach Cops. It's a great little town, though.
Manly, if it needs a Beach Cops show, does that mean that it's a bit of a rough area?
It's had its reputation over the years, that's for sure. It's actually not a rough area. The great thing about the show is it actually highlights the versatility of our local command and all the different things that they deal with, because I think cops get a pretty bad rap. You know, they're just known to be either revenue raisers or troublemakers, and quite honestly, they deal with such a huge variety of experiences, and they do a really good job of keeping our area safe.
Now tell us about a few of the cops that are going to be on the show, Beach Cops, which premieres this Sunday at 8 o'clock on Channel 7.
Great plug, thank you. I can't really isolate any cops because they all play such a vital role on the show, but there's some amazing characters. I love the female cops because they deal with some pretty severe stuff as well, but the great thing is they always support each other, they always back each other up, and I am actually quite surprised at their level of tolerance and patience and forgiveness of people.
What about the head honcho superintendent, Dave Darcy?
Yeah, Dave has a bit of a cameo in one of the segments where there's a house almost falls down a cliff, and Dave has to make the captain's call on how to deal with it. So he's fabulous, and he's had such a profound impact on the local area in Manly and made especially the Manly Corso area a lot safer and more family orientated.
Well, you touched on what Dave did in that episode. Give us a bit of a rundown, Layne, on the sort of things that the cops are dealing with day to day in this show. Is it minor things? Is it major things?
It's a combination of both. You know, there's some pretty quirky segments in the show. There's one where, they're dealing with either drugs or drinking, or there's people that are, there's a tourist who got done for driving suspended and then decided to drive out when he left the court, so they picked him up again and he thinks he's going to get deported. There's rowdy backpackers. There's a guy who gets drunk and goes for a walk off the bus, not unbeknownst to his brother, and he gets lost, so the cops go find him. But then there's some pretty tragic scenes as well. You know, the cops get T-boned on the road. There's a guy that goes swimming late at night and the cops are thinking that they're going to find him dead or drowned. So there's some pretty serious stuff, but all in all, it's a pretty light-hearted overview and observation of what our cops deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Now, Layne, here's a question for you, actually. Obviously, your career took a bit of a different path, but watching back on the show and being a part of it, do you reckon you could have been a cop in another life?
Definitely not. No, absolutely not. I have the discipline and the tolerance and the patience. For some reason, I had no actual desire to be someone of law enforcement.
It'd be a tough job.
Oh, it'd be a really tough job. Actually, my first boyfriend, Jeff, was a bouncer, and he always wanted to be a cop. So I thought, I wouldn't even want to be married to a cop because you just don't know what they're going to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
And g'day to Jeff if you're listening today.
Look what you're missing out on.
Who knows where Jeff is?
Well, the premiere of Beach Cops is this Sunday at 8 o'clock on Channel 7, narrated by Layne Beachley. Layne, thank you very much for taking the time out to have a chat with us this morning.
Anytime, boys. Thanks for having me and enjoy watching the show.
And according to her Twitter, mate, she's a Hawks supporter, so she's still smiling from last weekend.
Oh, go the Hawks. And I did back the Cowboys in the NRL Grand Final, and that was an epic Grand Final. So go the Hawks.
Layne Beachley there. What a champ. Big breakfast soon. We've got Jess Glynn and Tame Impala